Thank you, Terry. Next up, we have Dr. Rebekah Burroway in the Sociology department. She's going to be talking about her project in blogging to enhance student engagement in social problems.
Good morning. So I am a professor in the Sociology department, and the favorite class that I teach is Social Problems in a Global Perspective. And this is my 4th semester teaching it now. And as the course has grown in size over the last 4 semesters, there's a couple of challenges that I face. Number one is, as the class grows, how to really keep students engaged in the material. You know, in those big lecture classes, I feel like it's really hard to keep everybody paying attention. You lose a lot of people who are in the back row. Or at the same time, you have some of those quiet kids who are sitting there and they're really paying attention, but they're too afraid to speak up. So one of my challenges is this engagement problem, and particularly in a class like Social Problems, that I think the material is really important. Well, we all think our material is important, but and then the second challenge that I was facing was how to really make my goals for the course match my evaluation strategies. So I really want the students to understand how social problems are interconnected with each other and also across the world. And I want them to understand not only how human interaction creates inequality, but also how it can be used to create solutions. And they always tell me that my course is really depressing because we talk about the problems and I never get to the solutions because I don't have time. And so I wanted to create a way for them to be thinking about solutions. And the multiple choice short answer exams that I've been using wasn't really tapping that part of the goals for my class. So I set up a blog, and this is the about page for our blog. I set it up on WordPress, and the blog is called Global Problem Solving. The tagline is Exploring Solutions for Living in a More Equitable and Sustainable World. And so this is just a space for some creative thinking about the causes and the consequences of social problems, and really more importantly, what can be done to facilitate solutions for living in a more equitable world. And so this site is a collective effort that I set up, and I'm the administrator, and then all of the students who are in my class have author permissions so that they can all go in and make their own individual posts on this blog. And the guidance that I gave them was just, as you are on the internet and you're looking at newspaper clips or you're looking at video clips or whatever it is, be thinking about anything that relates to the themes of our course. And you can post it on this blog site and then just jot down a couple of sentences about how this relates to the themes of the course. I left the blog open and public so that anyone actually can follow the blog, can comment, can like our posts. And so that was important to me because I wanted the students to be able to feel like they could share the blog with people that they know. And I was also hoping that we might get some traction from people anywhere who are interested in social problems so that we could dialogue with people that we otherwise wouldn't be in dialogue with. So this is just to give you an idea of some of the things that my students are writing about on our blog. On your left, you'll see a word cloud that shows you some of the most popular topics. So there's a lot of variation, but some of the big ones that they're particularly interested in are things like child labor, drugs, education, inequality, gender. And then on your right side, I just listed a couple of the top posts from last week. So these are the titles of the posts that received the most attention or the most comments. So things like China denying rights for workers, Mexican towns forming vigilante police forces, heroin addiction in Russia, slaves of Dubai. So you can see that in addition to a variety of topics, they also are really exploring the world and blogging about topics from all over different cultural contexts. That second one, Lupe Fiasco, Words I Never Said, this is actually a YouTube clip of a rapper. And this particular artist is known for his anti-establishment views, for really rapping about, so I see this guy in the back is nodding his head. He's really known for his politics in his music and for writing about substantive issues and inequality and poverty and things like that. So my students seem to get particularly excited about that post. And the student who posted that YouTube video has also posted some clips from South Park and Parks and Recreation. So it's been really fun to see how they connect pop culture to these substantive issues in our class. This is just an example of a post followed by some comments. So child labor is a particularly salient theme in the blog. It seems to really resonate with them. I don't know if it's because they're sort of reflecting on their own childhood experiences and being really appalled by the prevalence of child labor in the world. But this particular student first blogged about the fact that there are millions of children in India who are working and not in school, and there are thousands of those are working in really dangerous conditions in mines and they are dying. And this student was struck by the fact that there is a legal ban on child labor in India, and yet the practice continues. And not only does it continue, but it's increasing. And the student was sort of appalled. Well, if it's illegal, then why is this still happening? And then in the comments from the other students, I particularly like this post because they really dug in and really got to the complexity of the issue. And one comments, well, it doesn't matter if there's a legal ban, if there's corruption in the government or if there's corruption in the police force. Another student said, well, it doesn't matter if there's a legal ban if poverty forces kids to be working to support their family. So it's not that we need to do something to enforce the laws, it's that we need to do something to get at the causes of child labor, which is poverty and lack of educational opportunities. So this is one of my favorite posts because it really sort of got at what I was hoping they would do, which is not only reflect on an issue, but then dialogue with each other and talk about the complexities of the issue. So I first started this blog at the end of February, and over the course of a month, just in the month of March, we had 51 posts by 27 authors. So that's about a third of my class was using the blog. I made this an extra credit opportunity since this was kind of a pilot project and I wasn't sure how it would work. I made this extra credit for the first time around, so about a third of the class participated. We had over 500 hits in the first month that it was up, and we had 23 followers, and what was particularly striking to me is it's actually not the people from my class who are the followers. It's all sorts of random people are following our blog and continue to follow our blog, and you can track, through WordPress, you can track where people are when they visit you, and so we've had visitors from Jamaica, the United Kingdom, from Australia, Canada, Lithuania, lots of random places that I wasn't really expecting, but I'm very excited about that because I feel like one of my goals was to allow my students to dialogue with people that they otherwise wouldn't dialogue with, and it seems that that's starting to happen. So there were a couple of challenges that I faced with this project. One is just the logistics of what site to use and how to set up a blog for 100 people. Blogs aren't really meant for 100 people to be the authors. So getting around some of those issues, the students kind of surprised me. A lot of them claimed that they didn't know how to use a blog, and this one is very user-friendly, so there were some issues about truly not understanding how to use a blog versus trying to get away with missing the due date and things like that. So, and then the grading is always a problem. How do you grade participation in a blog and keep track of the logistics of all of these students posting and commenting and things like that? So those are some of the issues that I'm still working through. And then lastly, the web address of our blog is at the bottom.